Hey, Bombshell. Hey, Lisa. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do today. I don't know if I want to do human design readings, like quick little, like hotline type of vibe, you know, or if I want to do one question readings or readings with the flame deck. What are y'all thinking? Those of y'all who are up here on a regular. Bombshell and Lisa. This is the section. Oh shit. Oh dang, I didn't do my card of the day today. Let me tell Patreon I'm on live real quick. Let me put this on the side. Patreon. Can y'all hear the music or is it too loud? Hey Laura. Where you been at, girl? I can hear it. Okay. Human design reads. Yes, I'm down with that to do some human design readings. But it's gonna be like something where it's like maybe 10 minutes a person. Hey Bernard, working, period. Heavy on that. I've been so distracted these last couple of days. I actually back home had a friend pass away very unexpectedly around my same age, and she has kids and stuff, and it just was a lot yesterday. I felt like I couldn't concentrate, and one of my really good friends is her best friend, and so like I get consumed by worrying about people, just because I always want my people to be okay, and so I've just been kind of in this weird energy, and so I wanted to get on live just to kind of distract myself a little bit. I was reading a book earlier, and I honestly feel like it was a solid 6. My condolences to you, her daughters and family. Thank you for saying that, my love. We have the same name, and so it was just a sad day yesterday. I feel like, and just a lot, And I was really, really worried about my friend who is like best friends with her, um, because she just has been through so much, and I don't know. It's a strange energy for sure. But I wanted to get on today because I was just like, you know what? Let me get on a little bit earlier, so that I can kind of have my night. But I told myself I was going to be a book talk girly. And so I tried to read some. Thank you, my love. I tried to read some books that were not like spiritual concepts, like fictional books and stuff like that. And so I started reading this book called A Love Song to Ricky Wilde. Um, which is a black writer. I actually liked it because you know how like we got our own language, like we got our own little innuendos or our own little, I don't know, like I want to say jokes and stuff like that, but it's kind of like the stuff that we find funny, the stuff that is like very specific to us. I feel like this book has some of that, but I've only read 3 chapters, so I'm really not. I don't have a fair, Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Story. I think if you go to my website, there is a donation link on my website, but I think you can actually donate directly through YouTube. If you look where it says chat, it has like a money, like a dollar bill next to it. Oh, you're talking about to the kids of the girl who passed away. I'm not even sure, my love. I need to look into that though and see what's going on. Luckily she has a lot of family, and a lot of support. She was a very, very loved person. Um, yeah, so I was trying to read a romance book. I was trying to read like something cute, something fictional, something to take my mind off. Oh yeah, I accept Cash App. My Cash App is the $ bigtajjj with 3 J's. So I'll put it in the comments because I'm about to do some readings anyways. But so I started that book today. I got through like 40 pages or whatever. And really I've only been reading for like an hour, but I got through like 40 pages and it got to the part where she first meets the man. And I'm like, okay, because at the beginning it just was a lot of talking, a lot of like, get to the point, please, pass go, collect $200 so we can get to the juicy part. But I did like that there was like little things that are specific to us as a group of people in the book, because it feels like I'm like, I didn't notice that it was written by a Black person too. Like those moments happened, and I was like, wait a second, this got to be one of us. Hold on, let me go see what this is about. And it just so happened that it was. So I'm actually excited about that. Thank you, my love. I'm actually excited about that. But I give the book so far. Thank you, Story. I give the book so far like a 6 on how it's written, because I want something like that pulls me in and doesn't let me go. You know, like a very strong hug. And it's just not giving me that right now. So, sorry. Okay. So yeah, so I'm doing readings today. So you can either do a human design reading. If you want to do the 5-10 minute human design, that'll be 18. And this is the soul encoded version. So this is the new one. I'm still working on finishing out the life path, so it'll have to be specific to like your masculine, feminine energy. That I'll do those for 18. And then if you want a one card or one question reading, $11. If you want a deck reading, which is a 3-card pool, 22. So yeah, but it's been a weird couple of days, I feel like. And so I've been trying to find stuff to do outside of like, I don't know. I feel like these last couple of years I've been consumed with like spirituality, and I've been consumed with just like a lot of things. And I feel like I too need to get back to just having fun and to, just kind of living life a little bit. Like I feel like everything has been so serious, and I need to have some fun. Like luckily I'm going to see my family soon, so that'll be good. Because both of my grandparents had a major surgery, so I'm gonna go down to Alabama to see them. So that should be fun. And while we wait, let's do a collective reading. Because y'all know this week, tomorrow is no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we are gonna do like a ritual though on live for the Lions Gate that's on Friday, and the full moon that's on Saturday, to kind of prepare us for that. So I'm actually excited about that. That'll be cool. But it's a lot of energy going on this week. The Lion Gate is like about you aligning with your heart's desire, whereas the full moon is about releasing around. How do you pick who is giving a reading to? I would like a 3-card pull, so I will send payment to your Cash App. Yeah, it just send the payment to my Cash App, and whoever whatever order it comes in, I'll give the reading. And you said you want a 3-card pull? Okay, cool. So while you're doing that, I'm going to do a general collective reading, because I feel like the energy has been sticky. The energy has been weird. I had some random grief come up the other day, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand. So let me do like a collective reading first, and then we can kind of get it cracking. This dance is all over my damn For You page. All right. So let's see what's going on with the collective. Y'all, I love this Oversoul Codex. I have been getting so many good reviews from people on the Oversoul Codex and how it's been helping them. Ooh, not too much now. Slow down, 10 speed. Okay. So we got some guarded energy. That makes sense. Ooh, we got a reverse card. I haven't got a reverse card out of this deck yet. I'm kind of excited. This might be juicy. But I just want to vibe. I just want to listen to some music. Do y'all got any music recommendations? Because I almost got on here and put on the oldies. Because I'm an oldies type of girl. Like, I be wanting to listen to some Ronald Isley, some Tings. All right, so that's a pretty cool pull. But sometimes I'll be putting on just like the regular music, because why not? Alex Isley is good. Now I love me some. Okay, Story girl, you trying to be my best friend or something? I love Alex Isley. She actually be at this place called I ain't gonna tell y'all her business, so y'all ain't got to roll up on her. But she goes to like the same place that I go for like R&B nights and stuff like that. And so I see her out in LA a lot. This song been living rent free in my head. No, me too. I just keep hearing it in my head. Teddy Swims is good too. He is. That's what I've been listening to. Oldies but goodies. Candy Girl. Yes. I feel like I have to be in the mood for certain music. Like, I gotta change this song because it'll be stuck in my damn head for 32 days and 32 nights, and I ain't got time for that. But I have a really great music taste. Like, I feel like that's my cream and butter because music has been speaking through me since I was a kid. I feel like I was one of those kids who didn't know how to communicate. So music was like my way of art. Yes, Xavier Omar. Yes. Okay, you know the guys. I know the guys too. Snow, yes. I'm an old school R&B jazz girl. I like jazz too. Like, I like the jazz playlist on Apple Music. One of my favorite when I don't want to hear words, because I get overstimulated by music, y'all. I have a specific volume number that I have to have it on when I'm overstimulated, which is 18. If it goes past 18, like if somebody's in my car and they turn it up, like I'm overstimulated. But yes, oh my gosh, not y'all my people, period. What do I expect? I expect nothing less. All right, so the first card that we get is the King of Waters, which is the master of the emotional world, right? I love how he looked like Neptune, y'all, though. Look at this. Look at the little staff that he got. I wanted it to give Neptune. You know, we rewriting it the way it's supposed to be written. They was never supposed to have those color faces. I'm just saying. But anyways, it's about emotional mastery and sacred leadership. So he is the mature flame of the emotional realm, a guide, a steward, a quiet force of depth and grace. He has faced grief and joy, longing and loss, and not turned away. Instead, he has learned how to hold it all and lead from a place of stillness. And, you know, like this is something that's I'm learning recently, which tomorrow I'm going to talk about this on the live, but there's certain levels of consciousness that we can be in, like 5 different levels of consciousness that we can be experiencing in this reality. And I'm going to kind of break them down for you tomorrow. But the one that's aligned with oversoul consciousness requires a lot of stillness. And so I've been asked by my guides to get into stillness and stay into stillness. And also they've been teaching me about neutrality and stuff like that. And we do not understand how important it is to be in stillness. That's when your guidance comes. That's when your gifts activate. Like, it's almost like you're in a womb of potential when you enter into stillness, you know, and when you can, when you're sitting in stillness, you can just be present with your emotions. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this card is about. It appears when you are ready to embody emotional integrity, meaning like you being honest about the way that you feel. You know, like I said, my friend was going through something today, and I told her like how you feel is valid. Like I hate when people pass away or something happens, and people are just like, oh, it's gonna be okay. You know, with time it'll get better. Sometimes it fucking doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, so it's like being honest about where you are and allowing other people to also have integrity with their emotions as well. So to speak with compassion without collapsing, to support others without self-erasure, meaning like you can compassion sometimes is you sitting present with people. It doesn't require you to do anything. And I think so many of us think it requires us to do something. And it causes us to kind of feel invisible in certain situations. So this with this card, you are being called to bring your full emotional intelligence into form, not as reaction, but as presence. Okay. So the emotional power is not loud, it's steady. That's what this first energy is. Okay. So this with this second card, the guarded flame, it means that this is what we're working towards, is being able to sit present with our emotions. And it's crazy because I just had a conversation this morning about how emotionally fragile we are as a society and how it's so hard for us to digest truth, you know, if it doesn't have softness or fluff or things like that, right? Which that's just my personal opinion as somebody who has always spoken truth. I feel like people wince when people speak truth directly, right? So this 4 stone card is about protection and preservation. Okay. So the 4 stones appear when you're holding something sacred, your energy, your resources, your time with great care. You worked hard to establish a foundation, and now the instinct is to protect it at all costs. This card can indicate the early signs of stability, income, security, clarity. Need that real bad. But with it comes the question of, can you trust it to last, right? Because we close down, we guard when we're trying to protect something or hold on to things like savings and stuff like that, which just, that's you contracting. That's you entering to this energy that's going to repel it because you're afraid that you're going to lose it, right? So this card affirms your right to tend the flame. It's okay to say no. It's okay to pause. You are learning to protect what you've built without gripping it in fear. Hey, Tinkerbell, welcome. In your highest expression, the guarded flame reminds us that boundaries are sacred containers, not walls. And when this card appears, ask yourself, am I guarding this flame to preserve it or out of fear that it will be taken from me? The answer reveals where your safety is rooted. Okay, so this is a card about safety, emotional safety, right? Guard your flame with love, but not out of fear. And what I mean out of fear is like, again, when we have been through trauma and we've had these intense experiences, it's very natural for us to want to hold on to things, you know, but when we grip at things, that's when they start to slip away. Okay. What'd you say? The collective spell video? I totally agree, but like there's no way out of it. It is. You got to change your mindset, my love. You got to change the way that you think about things, because once you know that a spell is a spell, it doesn't have the same power over you. You can set your intention, you know, and your intention shapes everything that you experience in this reality. Okay, so next we got the multi-dimensional mirror, but we got it in reverse. Look how beautiful this card is. This is probably one of my favorite. And you see like the people in the back. This is probably one of my favorite cards. Gorgeous, but we got this card in reverse. Okay, so the multi-dimensional mirror in the shadow side is about timeline obsession, fragmentation, spiritual overwhelm, loss of presence, projection, distortion, ego illusion. So in the shadow, the dimensional mirror can lead to over-identification with timelines. You may become caught in past life roles, future prophecies, or distorted karmic loops, losing presence in the now. Okay. This card may appear when you become overwhelmed by downloads, constantly seeking meaning in every moment, or using multidimensional awareness as a way to escape. Hold on, let me put this over here because this is about to piss me off. Hold on. I feel the blood arising. Okay. So, as a way to escape grounded life. Hey, Callie. There may also be fear. Am I doing this lifetime right? What if I repeat the same mistakes? Was I truly whole? In its shadow, the dimensional mirror may reflect only what you expect to or fear to see. You might be trapped in loops of self-judgment or lost in projections onto other people. You may compare your path to someone else's, believing they reflect something you lack rather than a truth you also hold, meaning like what you see in other people exists in you, whether you believe it or not, right? So distorted mirrors can lead to disorientation, spiritual bypassing, or identity fragmentation. What you're asked to do with this card is return to your center. The true mirror is always found within. These are echoes, not truths. The shadow here is not your memory. It is your reaction to it. The remedy is presence. You're not bound to your past. You are its healer, meaning like you are here to alchemize the pain that you've been through. You are the healer of your past. You go from trauma to healer. Okay. You're not every version that you have been. You are the one who remembers them all. Okay. Don't let distortion become your compass, meaning like what you see in your outside environment. You know, you got to go within and know who you are from the inside out. And one other thing that I want to say about this is your mind lies to you all the fucking time. You know, your mind will think of everything that could potentially go possible. I mean, everything that could go wrong, you know, and you come up with all these things and none of that shit actually fucking happens. You know, so you got to be careful living out of your mind and not living out of your body. Okay. So that's that one. The next one is the Queen of Stone, and she's actually in reverse as well. And I'm gonna put this all together for y'all in just a second. But the Queen of Stone out of her shadow is somebody who prioritizes everybody else's shit. Okay, so in the shadow, the Queen of Stone may become a sacred well gone dry. You may be pouring endlessly into others, clients, families, communities without remembering to replenish yourself. You might believe that to be worthy, you must be endlessly available and prove your value through constantly doing things. Okay, so this is the performance culture for women. We have to give in order for us to be accepted in this reality. We're responsible for prioritizing everybody else's needs in front of our own. There may also be a discomfort in receiving an old program that whispers you must earn your rest or justify your needs. This card asks, what would change if you allowed yourself to be held? Sometimes the queen forgets she is not just the hearth, she is also the flame. So your presence is the medicine, but you are allowed to need medicine too. Okay. All these cards are talking about sitting present with yourself, you know, sitting in the present moment instead of worrying about the past or worrying about the future. Sitting in the present moment instead of comparing yourself to all the things that are going on around you. Okay. And then the next card that I get is the Ace of Breath. And the Ace of Breath is a new beginning in the way that you think about things. Okay. So, and she's gorgeous. Look at her. A gorgeous girl. Period. But the Ace of Breath signals the return of clarity. After confusion, distortion, or silence, the first clear truth begins to rise within. This is the moment of mental coherence when the fog lifts and you remember something about your soul's voice that cannot be ignored. It may come through a sudden realization, a phrase you speak aloud, or a knowing that pierced through illusion. This is the oversoul speaking. It does not shout, it cuts. The first truth does not always feel comfortable, but it is clean. When this card appears, you are being asked to trust your inner voice, name what you know, and allow your truth to anchor into language, thought, and aligned decision. When this first truth rises, let it breathe before you bury it. Meaning, like, when I say bury it, what I mean is we will get an intuition, we will get a hunch, we will get a piece of guidance, and then our mind jumps in and starts like gaslighting us. It starts conditioning us against it. No, maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong, which is crazy because I had a conversation about this yesterday. Right? You have to go with that first instinct even when you feel uncertain. Okay, so what this is basically saying is a really important time for us to be emotionally mature right now. If you are feeling a lot of feelings, it's important that you feel them instead of running from them. Seek to understand what each emotion is teaching you, so that you know what action to take. Okay. It's okay to guard things out of protection of them. It's okay to use discernment, but there's a thin line between discernment and being guarded. Okay. A lot of times when we get something that we've been asking for in our entire life, it is very common for us to want to grip at it. It's common for us to want to save it or protect it. However, in order for you to continue to receive, you have to remain in the open energy. You have to remain in a expanded state. Okay. This next one is be careful of spiritual bypassing. Okay. Don't let the things that are happening outside of you, comparing yourself to other people or what other people got going on, dictate how you move. You need to move based off of what you want, not based out of fear, not based out of comparison. Hey Terry. And also make sure you're taking care of yourself. You cannot prioritize everybody else's needs in front of your own and expect that you're still going to have energy to do what you came here to do. Okay. There is a movement in the way that we've been thinking about things. So if you ever want to align all of these things, you're going to have to change the way that you're thinking about things. Okay. So boom. Well, I like Niger Charles. She actually writes a lot of songs, but she's been doing like her own stuff. Okay. All right. So let me see who. All right. So Story, you did $11. So we're gonna go with you first. Story, do you want a one card pool or do you want a one question? Yeah. You said this who? I love her voice. This is Niger Charles. She writes like a lot of like the pop songs that are very popular. She writes those. Story, are you still with us, my love? Hold on, let me give her a second. And then I also have yes, okay, my love. Did you want a one card pool or did you want a one question? And the one question is just me tapping it, like whatever your energy is, I can it's mediumship. One question. Okay, let me turn this down real quick, y'all. Alrighty, what's your question, my love? Let me get my pen. Actually, need to get a new pen. Ooh, there's a buzzing in my ear. Okay. Be the difference. That's what my pen says, period. All right, Story. What question do we have? I've been having so much energy around me lately. I actually had somebody write me earlier about they're like them tapping into a oversoul grid, meaning like a mimic oversoul grid. which is like depending on where you are and what frequency you're vibrating at, you're either going to tap into the true crystalline grid, which means your heart led, heart focus, you've cleared enough of the distortion, or you're going to tap into the mimic grid. And this person wrote me and said that they were tapped into the mimic grid and they didn't know how to get that oversoul energy away from them. And so y'all be careful now. I've been feeling ungrounded and spacey for a while. How do I find balance? I don't know why I'm hearing make a decision. It feels like you're standing at a standpoint. And I also feel like like what path to take, but I think it's more so worried about doing the wrong thing or making the wrong step, or making the wrong choice. But I feel like that there's some things that need to shift in your life. Okay. I hear daily choices. And I'm here to make a decision. Yes, I question my intuition a lot. Yeah, and then before I even started writing, I wrote down the word trust. But I didn't even say anything about that yet because I was circling back around to that. I feel like you need to trust in your ability to guide yourself and understand that the journey really isn't about making the right choice. It's not about being perfect. You actually came here to be imperfect. Sometimes we don't figure out like what we're supposed to do until we do it wrong, or we just try. So the word that I keep hearing in my head is you just got to be willing to do it the wrong way. You got to be willing to, and I don't even think it'll be the wrong way. Every direction or every step that you take is providing you information, so you got to be willing to move forward, because I feel like you're standing in one spot. So willingness, right? Just try. It doesn't matter which path it is, just try. And I don't know why I'm hearing like start your own business. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in. But it feels like you need to get from underneath authority. Something feels like authoritative. Does that make sense, my love? Word, thank you. That really be the industry though. Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to be starting your own business or working for yourself in some capacity, story. Yes, it does. I am so reliant on jobs. Yeah, I don't know why I feel like you're supposed to be doing something different with your energy, something more creative. I don't know why I like I have two things going on in my head. I got flowers. I keep thinking of flowers, and that could just be because of the book that I was just reading. Um, but I keep seeing flowers, so I'm just gonna say that. Um, At the moment, I'm unemployed, but have been afraid to land a position that's chaotic. My last position drained me in all aspects. Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to be doing your own thing. And some part of me wants to tell you to share your experiences, because it feels like you have been through enough in your life to where if you were to get online and you were start to talk about the things that you've been through, that you would help a lot of people. Um, I don't know why I feel like you're supposed to be sharing something. Like you're supposed to be sharing something. Um, So yeah, that's my advice, my love. I think you just need to make a decision. And I think you need to, with the advice of the being afraid that you're going to land back in a chaotic environment, I think you need to treat it as a stepping stone. And what I mean by that is like, um, don't think of whatever your next thing is as being the final thing, right? Think of it as something that's you're supposed, like a stepping stone, is supposed to get you to that next level. And I think in the interim or in the meantime of that, you need to be sharing your experience, sharing your story, sharing your story, sharing her story. Okay. I've been posting on TikTok. I keep getting the urge and have been, I keep feeling compelled to speak. Yeah, I think you're supposed to be sharing something. Like you're supposed to be sharing, you're supposed to be speaking. You're supposed to be talking in some capacity. So that's what I would be doing, my love. I feel like, if you do have to get something temporary, just don't think of it like this is the end all be all, because it's not, I genuinely appreciate your messages. You're so welcome, my love. But yeah, that's what I would say. Okay. Next we have Nikki T. don't know why I feel like your name is something else. Oh, Tranika. Tranika, are you still here, my love? Yeah, I think you need to just speak and don't worry about the numbers or anything, story. Just literally just post, get off. You know, Nikki. Okay, hey Nikki Baker girl. How you doing, girl? Did you want you did a 3 card pull. Okay, my love. All right, let's see where you are on your journey, my love. This is for Nikki. Let me clear this with smoke. Okay. Okay. All right, Nikki girl. Let's see what we have. Huge hugs and love to you. Oh, thank you, love. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a bunch of cards in reverse for you, my love. So whatever this is, your energy definitely has to be out of alignment. But I'm gonna give you some advice based off of what I see here, okay? Um, And I don't know if you're familiar, but I'm using my own Oracle deck, and I created these cards to help people on their journey to remembering themselves. Okay. And so, what I like to do is what I'm teaching you guys, the journey back to remembrance. And so, when I read these cards, I read it directly off my website where you can find this information. Okay. This is how I want you to do it until you learn the path back to remembrance. All right. So, the first card that I get for you is the Page of Stone in reverse. Okay. The Page of Stone in reverse. Oh, I love her. I love her so much. Okay, so this is a card of hesitation, fear of failure, undervaluing your gifts. Um, hesitation, fear of failure, undervaluing your gifts, doubt in your own embodiment, perfection paralysis, meaning you might be somebody who is scared to make a step forward, perfection paralysis, or delaying service. Okay. So the shadow side of this card, the stone bearer may feel afraid to step forward. You might question your readiness, worry your offering isn't worthy, or compare yourself to other people who appear further along than you are. The body may feel like a stranger, something you ignore, distrust, or push too hard. You may also feel stuck at the edge of embodiment, staying in the ideas realm without bringing it into form, meaning like you do a lot of visualizing, you do a lot of fantasizing, but you're not actually taking the action. The fear of doing it wrong can lead to not doing it at all. This card reminds you that initiation is messy and sacred, and that the only true mistake is not beginning. Okay. So the advice of this card is you won't learn how to carry your stone, which is your offering, until you lift it, meaning like you need to take the first step. Okay. So that's the stone. That is the Page of Stone. Okay. The next card is the Knight of Waters. Okay. She is the water holder, and we also have her in reverse. Okay. All right. And so in the shadow side, this is about emotional. I've been struggling with trusting my gifts. Okay, that makes sense. In the shadow side, this card is about emotional impulsiveness, fantasy pursuit, romantic projection, avoidance of reality, mood driven choices, meaning like your choices depend on what mood you're in, and ungrounded promises. So in the shadow side, the water holder becomes a siren to their own illusions. You may rush into love or inspiration without grounding, driven more by the high of emotions than the reality beneath it. Feeling becomes truth even when they shift like tides. This night is in shadow may also make promises they can't keep, not out of manipulation, but out of a deep yearning to merge. They say yes in the moment, only to retreat when it becomes real. Beware of chasing connection to fill a void rather than deepening truth. Not everything you feel is a soul contract. Okay, so this is about commitment. Okay, card is about commitment. And then the last card is the Seven of Breath. Okay, this is also in reverse. Had a download and was so afraid to share it with the person it was meant for. Yeah, I think you need to trust yourself, my love, because that first card that we talked about, the Page of Stone, is about you being afraid to to step forward, you undervaluing your purpose, your gifts, and things like that. Okay. So it's really important moving forward, even if you're scared, say the thing. You know, you really don't know. I think a big part of my journey as well, Nikki, was that I was terrified at the beginning because the only thing I really was afraid of in life was ghosts. It was the spiritual realm, you know, and so it took me a lot to build up to this point where I can do readings online, where I can tap into people's energy, where I would allow myself to be gifted, you know, where I would allow myself to be rare, allow myself to be special, allow myself to talk about some of the things that was going on inside of my head. Because half the shit I talk about is woo-woo crazy shit, and people always calling me crazy and all kind of things. And I had to get comfortable just, you know, being perceived by other people and not giving a fuck. You know, you gotta, my mama tells me that I care too much about what other people think, you know, and that type of stuff holds you back because then you don't want to do anything wrong. You don't want to say anything wrong. And, you know, I'm a very opinionated person, but I'm very cautious about what I speak on, because of that fear of being perceived. But on the other side of that fear of being perceived is everything that you've ever wanted in life. Okay. So this last one is the hidden flame. Okay. This is the 7 of breath. The 7 of breath on the shadow side is about secrecy, self-censorship, avoidance, spiritual bypassing. So in the shadow side, the hidden flame can become a weaponized silence. You may withhold truth to protect your image. Okay. You just said, sometimes I don't speak up about the things that I'm feeling for the people. Weaponized silence. You may withhold truth to protect your image, avoid consequences, or control the situation. Alternatively, you might suppress your insight to keep the peace or avoid discomfort. Over time, this creates energetic congestion where breath, thought, and flame lose integrity. There may also be deception towards others or towards yourself. The risk is bypassing pain by wearing spiritual vocabulary over unspoken words. Truth withheld for safety becomes distortion in disguise. Okay. So here's a ritual that I want you to do, Nikki. Okay. This will be on YouTube, but there's a ritual called the mask mirror ritual. So what you want to do is stand before a mirror and say aloud, I release the need to hide myself. Okay. Stand in front of a mirror. You can even get a small mirror that you hold in your hand, or you can stand in front of a mirror in your house. And what you want to say is, I release the need to hide myself. Okay. Name one truth you've kept silent and one reason why. Then place your hand on your heart and say, my safety is not found in silence. It's found in sovereignty. Close by breathing in your nose and exhaling through your mouth while saying the phrase, I unmask with grace, and repeat this daily for 3 days. I'm going to give it to you again. Stand in front of a mirror and say aloud, I release the need to hide myself. Name one truth you've kept silent and one reason why you've kept that truth silent. Then place one hand over your heart and say, my safety is not found in silence. It's found in sovereignty. Close by breathing in through your nose and exhaling with the phrase, I unmask with grace. Repeat this daily for 3 days. This is actually a really good time to do it because of what the energy is. Okay, Nikki? But you got to stop hiding yourself and stop hiding your gift. I went through a phase of doing that as well, especially after I found out I was a medium and I actually went to mediumship school and I started being able to read people. I still didn't feel prepared after I got my certificate. I still didn't feel prepared and I was still looking for answers outside of myself. You just got to trust yourself. I just talked to my cousin yesterday and I told her, whatever the first inkling that you get or the first piece of intuition that you get, go with it. How you know that something is your mind is moving fast. It's like 1,000 thoughts back to back to back. It's an internal conflict. But when you get truth, it just kind of slides in. It's not loud like the voice of God or Mufasa. It's very subtle. But you know it's truth because you can feel it in your bones. Like you can feel it in your body. Your body has a reaction to it. And for me, I latch onto it. I can't let it go. Does that make sense, my love? That was for Nikki. If y'all want to read it, I'm doing one question for $11. I'm doing 3 cards for 22, or you can do a 1 card pool for $11 as well. Thank you. I will do so. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, good. My Cash App is bigtajjj. So 3 J's, bigtajjj. My Zelle is Taja Moore 16 at Gmail. That's TAJAMOORE 16 at Gmail. Okay, so next we have Yolanda. Yolanda, we have a 3-card pull for you, my love. I just got here. How does the cards work? If you want a 3-card pull, that's $22, and you just would Cash at me, which is bigtajjj, 3 J's, or you would Zelle me. Yolanda, are you still with me, my love? Mm-hmm. Y'all, did y'all see that Sasha Keeble is coming to America? I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm thrilled. I'm going to be front and center. I can't remember whose tour she's going to be on, but baby, I'm up in through that thing. Yolanda, are you still here with me, my love? I'm going to do you next, but I don't want to do it without confirmation that you're here, my girl. What's wrong, Pookie? Can you give me a yes in the chat, Yolanda? Oh, she's over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, Yolanda, let's get you together, girl. We're going to do a 3-card pull for Yolanda. Again, this is from my Oversoul Codex, which is something I created to help people on their journey of self-discovery. Okay, this is for Yolanda. Ooh, this is my jam. While I'm going through these cards, y'all can enjoy this. This one's on the house. Okay. Ooh, balance in reverse. Okay. Okay. We got another card coming out from the last reading. Okay, hold on. Ooh, Lord. Child, the whole deck try to jump out on you. I don't know what you're over there doing. But no, I'm just kidding. Let me pull you another card, though, because I just want to make sure we got everything for you, my love. You get an extra card because the whole deck tried to just slide up in your business. Okay, there we go. All right. Ooh, I ain't had this card in a minute. All right, Yolanda. So the first card we get is the 2 of Stones in reverse. Okay. The 2 of Stones in reverse. This card is about balance. So there might be a disconnect between your thoughts and your emotions, meaning like how we're designed is your thoughts and your emotions have to align for you to take the appropriate action. But this is saying that inner harmony is not there. Okay. So on the shadow side of this card, it's about overwhelm. It's about burnout. It's about imbalance. It's about scattered energy, overcommitment, sometimes financial worry as well, and difficulty saying no. Okay. So in the shadow side, the balance is lost. You may be doing too much for too many people, feeling fragmented or spread thin. The body is speaking, but you are not listening. Okay. You might also feel stuck between 2 paths, unsure where to root. At the core of this shadow is the belief that your value comes from your productivity, meaning that you feel like you need to do more, and that's what makes you valuable, or that's what gets you the pot of gold. But the journey is really not about performance, it's about resonance. Okay. And it's also about authenticity. Okay. So this card may also indicate imbalance in money, relationships, or attention. Perhaps you're giving freely and receiving little in return, or you're afraid to spend, invest, or trust in the flow. The earth holds abundance, but it requires stewardship. So shadow balance calls you to realign your priorities and restore the sacred cycle. So the advice here is that your energy is not infinite, but it is holy. So protect it accordingly. Make sure that you pay attention to what you're expending your energy and where you're expending your energy. Okay. Because it feels like you are either in a state of depletion where you're giving and you're not receiving, or you're helping too many people. Okay. Or you have your energy spread thin amongst other people. Hey, Memory. The next one is the 7 of Breath, but this time it came out upright. Okay. The 7 of Breath is what we have next. Okay. This is the hidden flame. So again, this card is about Strategic silencing. It's about a fear, vulnerability, withheld truth, inner revelations, or spiritual masking. So the seven of breath speaks of the truth that is being held back intentionally or subconsciously. You may know something deep and potent, but choose not to speak or reveal it yet. This could be protective, wise, or fear based. Sometimes we guard our truth because the world is not ready for it. Sometimes we guard it because we're not ready to face what it will change. This card calls for sacred discernment. Is my silence sovereign or is it self-abandonment? The hidden flame is not lost, it's paused. So when this card appears, you're being asked to reconnect with the breath behind the mask. What is wanting to be revealed, reclaimed? Hold on, y'all. Okay. What is being revealed, reclaimed, or said, not for reaction, but from remembrance? So the lesson here is what you hide shapes you. Let your flame breath breathe before it dims into darkness, meaning like you might be stifling yourself, you might be dimming yourself. Okay. Next we get the eight of breath, which is the mind trap, but it's in reverse. It's on the shadow side. Okay. So this is what the card looks like upright. Gorgeous, gorgeous card. You see that? That's the card of overthinking. Okay, but you actually are pulled it on the shadow side. Okay, so the shadow side of this card is about interference. It's about fear-based logic. So this is the second time we get fear-based something coming up. So you might be somebody who's been in survival mode your whole life and making decisions based out of fear instead of what you actually want. Okay. It also has to do with mimic consciousness, learned helplessness, paralysis, or disbelief in self-liberation, meaning like you don't feel like you're in control. You feel like things are happening to you instead of for you. Okay, so in the shadow side, the mind trap convinces you that you are helpless. It may cloak itself as realism or being cautious, but at its core, it's a program of fear-based delay. Okay, this also could mean that you might be stuck in a victim mentality. Okay, you may be absorbing mimic codes, which are external voices that sound like yours but are not. Which also could be attachments. Okay. Sometimes what mimic codes do is they attach to your field and they basically amplify your fears. Okay. Um, these can come from societal conditioning, ancestral fears, or past trauma pattern looping into your thought form, which sometimes it could just be like if you had a critical parent. Sometimes we inherit that voice and we start doing it to ourselves. The calls start coming from the inside, right? So the risk here is surrendering your sovereignty to a lie simply because you've repeated it long enough to believe it, meaning you are telling yourself something that is not true and it's keeping you stuck in a pattern. Okay. If the only thing keeping you bound is belief, change the belief system. So what this is telling you is you need to change the way that you're looking at things. You need to change the way that you're thinking about things, because whatever you are believing about yourself on the fear side is creating a reality. Okay. And the last card is the eight of transmission, the eight of flame. Okay. Look how gorgeous she is. Look at her. I outdone myself. I must say, I've outdone myself. All right. So this card is a card, it's called the transmission, and it's about acceleration. It's about downloads. It's about divine messages. It's about those creative bursts. So communication as well. Hey, holistic homegirl. I'm doing paid reading. So if you want one card pull or one question, $11. If you want a three card pull, it's 22. And it's sent through my Cash App. So bigtajjj, three J's, or you can send it through Zelle, which is tajamore16 at Gmail. TAJAMOORE16 at Gmail. Okay. I've been loving the cards, period. I love that. All right, so the eight of flame, Yolanda, arrives like wind to fire. It marks a time of quickening, a sudden surge of insight, momentum, or creative fire that sweeps through your field. You may receive a download, a dream, a message from your oversoul, or a burst of clarity that illuminates your path forward. Communication is strong at this time. Synchronicities are heightened for you. Things long delayed begin to move when you get this eight of flame. Okay, this card signals a sacred transmission. Do not rush to interpret or to act. First, you need to receive. Okay. The eight of flame asks you to become a vessel, not a filter. Let the flame move through you without judgment. Trust that what is landing now is encoded with purpose. Okay. The lesson here is you are not here to control the fire. You are here to carry the message it brings, which means that whatever is happening in your life right now, or the changes that start to happen, you need to trust them. Okay. It's almost like I can't worry about it. Everything works out for me, because I think on the other side of that is going to be, divine intervention. Okay. So there is an imbalance. Okay. Make sure that your thoughts and your emotions align, because that is how you take the appropriate action. Okay. And make sure that if, and what I mean by that is, say, for instance, you say, I want to be an artist, but your mama told you your entire life, that's never going to make you money. That's stupid. All of this, right? When you're creating your art, if you have your mama in the back of your head, you're going to be repelling. Okay. So you need to make sure the emotion align. Instead, say, you know what? I know that I can do this. So while you're painting your art, you are experiencing joy and excitement, and then you actually magnetize stuff towards you. Okay. So your thoughts and your emotions have to be in alignment. If you're moving out of the emotion of fear, you're always going to be repelling whatever it is that you're trying to create. Okay. The next thing is you got to stop dimming yourself. You have to let yourself shine a little bit. Okay. And also stop being everything to everybody, because your energy might be a little spread thin, trying to be everything to everybody, and it's causing a little bit of self-abandonment. Okay. Then you also get this energy of you needing to change the way that you're thinking about things. You need to change your belief system, because there's a belief system that you hold that's based in fear, that's keeping you locked into this timeline. But things are about to change. Things are about to happen very quickly. Okay. Which means you got to learn how to let things go. You got to learn how to go with the flow. Believe a miracle can happen, because it can. The only reason why we think that it takes time for us to do stuff is because they told us to. You know, it could be, we think that we got to do all this work. We got to perform, right? And through that performance, on the other side of that performance, we are rewarded. You don't have to earn shit in this life if you don't believe that you have to earn it. So you got to change the way you're thinking about it. Know that miracles can happen, and you're not a victim of your circumstance. You're a survivor. So when you start looking at it like that, you're going to open up new timelines, because choices open up new timelines. Okay, Yolanda, does that make sense for you, my love? Ooh, this is a dude off of TikTok. You know that dude who was doing them vines back in the day, Jay Versace? He actually is a really fucking good producer, BT Dubs. Yolanda, you still with me, my love? Yeah, I didn't actually holistic homegirl. I didn't actually do a card of the day today. I might have to go back and do it, or just wait till tomorrow. But yeah, these cards are, I've been getting so many messages from people. Wow, this is also true. Okay, period, Yolanda. I would love to see what you end up doing, when you release that fear. Because you deserve to live a life where you actually enjoy the life that you live in. I had to actually change my mindset too, because I came from a lot of trauma and a lot of grief and a lot of poverty and scarcity. And so even when I got the stuff that I worked so hard, I hustled, I performed, I thought I just had to do more. And I was working my job and 3 other jobs and all this stuff. And even when I got to the top, I didn't know how to keep it, because everything I was doing was based out of fear. Even when I got to the top and I felt like I was happy, I still wasn't happy. So it takes time, but be gentle with yourself during the process. Remother yourself and talk yourself through it. You can do this. Keep reminding yourself, even when it's hard. You might be living a different life in as little as 7 days. Okay, so next we got Keisha. Is it Keisha or is it Kesha? We got a 3-card pool. Oh, okay, I got you. 4K. You in the chat with us still? Y'all, if y'all want to read in, I'm doing one question, which is just mediumship. Definitely need to move from this fear, period. I love that for you, Yolanda. So I'm doing one question, which is just mediumship. Whatever question you have, I'll answer it. That's $11, or you can do a 1-card pool for $11 as well. Or we're doing 3-card pool for $22. The payment can be sent to my Cash App, bigtajjj. So 3 J's, same as my TikTok name, or my Zelle, which is TAJAMOORE16 I would put it in the chat, but they don't allow me. All right, that's crazy. My name is Keisha. Hey, Keisha girl. Okay, Clover, that's you, my love. All right, so we got a 3-card pull again. Okay, this one is for my girl Keisha. Oh, we get another imbalance in hey Pashe. We get Ooh, baby. All right, my love. You are. This is all of your cards are in reverse, which means that there's some misalignment in your energy. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull another card to see where you're going. Okay. What does Keisha need right now? What does she need to get her back in alignment? Mm. Oh, and that still came out on the opposite side too. Okay. Oh, this one's gonna be good. We got some cards we ain't pulled yet. Okay, period. All right. Okay. So let's start with the Two of Stones in reverse. Okay. This card is about you spreading yourself thin. Okay. We talked about this in the last reading, but I'm gonna give it to you again because you're a new person. All right. And we got new people in the chat. Okay. So this card in reverse is about overwhelm. It's about burnout. It's about scattered energy. It's about overcommitment. It's about financial worry and difficulty saying no. In the shadow side, this card is telling you that the balance is lost. You may be doing too much for too many, feeling fragmented or spread thin. The body is speaking to you, but you are not listening, meaning you are living out of your mind. You're not living out of your body. Okay. You might also feel stuck between two paths, unsure where to root. At the core of this shadow is the belief that your value comes from productivity, meaning you think you have to do more to get more. And so you got to change the way you're thinking about that. Okay. This card may also indicate imbalance in money, relationships, or attention. Perhaps you've given freely and received little in return, or you're afraid to spend, invest, or trust in the flow. The earth holds abundance, but it requires stewardship. Shadow balance calls you to realign your priorities and restore the sacred cycle. So you need to realign your priorities around what you actually do want and stop trying to please everybody else. All that energy you put into everybody else, you got to put it back into yourself. Okay. Your energy is not infinite. It is holy. So it's important for you to protect your energy accordingly. Okay. That is the first card. The second card that we get is the Page of Waters. Okay. This is what she looks like. In the upright position, okay? But she is in reverse. Okay, the Page of Waters. Period. Woo! Okay, we got some resonance here. Okay, good. Now we got the Page of Waters, but she is in reverse. So the Page of Waters in the shadow side is about emotional naivety. It's about romantic idealism. It's about a lack of boundaries, oversensitivity, ungrounded feelings, and escapism, okay? In the shadow, the water bearer becomes ungrounded in their emotional landscape. You may be overwhelmed by feelings, lack of discernment about what's yours and what's other people's, or projecting fantasy onto people and situations. This page may also signal emotional immaturity, approaching love or intuition with wishful thinking rather than embodied wisdom. Meaning, like, you need to ground what it is that you're thinking in reality, meaning you need to take actions on the things that you're trying to bring into this existence instead of and learn from your mistakes. Okay. Meaning, like, toxic positivity. You might be in a situation where you're trying to think positively about something, but you feel something different underneath, and you need to actually acknowledge what you feel instead of the wishful thinking, right? Learn from your mistakes. There's beauty in openness, but without grounding, it can lead to confusion, disappointment, and burnout. You could be oversharing as well. Feeling deeply is a gift, but learning how to carry the cup is important as well. Okay. So this card is, there might be a lack of boundaries. Okay. There might be a lack of boundaries. And then I get the soul contract. And this is one of my favorite cards. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's a work of art. But this is also in reverse. Yes, your living situation. Okay. We got some resonance there. Okay. All right. So let's do the soul contract. The soul contract is in reverse. Okay. This is the bottom. So there's guilt-based service, karmic entrapment, spiritual obligation, over responsibility, burnout, vow entanglement, karmic entanglement, unconscious vows, soul fatigue, spiritual resignation. In the shadow, the soul contract can reflect the weight of unhealed obligation. You may feel bound to serve in ways that drain you, uphold roles that no longer resonate, or sacrifice your own well-being for others' evolution. Meaning you throwing yourself on a knife for other people. That's martyr energy. That's self-abandonment, self-betrayal. Okay, at the expense of other people. Okay, The martyr wound, it masquerades as purpose when you've been through trauma. You don't want other people to go through the same stuff that you've been through. And so you end up taking on everybody else's burden as your own, even though that's not your responsibility. Lord, she said, Lord. Okay. You may also carry vows that are outdated, such as poverty vows, silent vows that feels important, silent vows, or codes of spiritual servitude that no longer serve your oversoul path. These unconscious promises can keep you looping in exhaustion, guilt, or energetic bondage. Sometimes soul contracts can complete before the mind catches up. If this card appears, you are resisting release. So you need to ask yourself, is this still mine to carry? Not every sacred agreement is eternal. Some are fulfilled when you reclaim your freedom, meaning it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. You just rewrite it, holistic homegirl. You rewrite it in real time. And then every action that you take after that needs to be aligned with what you rewrote it to. So if you say, I'm no longer being silent, every single time becomes a chance where you need to speak up, you need to speak up. That's literally it. You don't have to do nothing other than the opposite of what you're doing right now. If you choose silence, you need to communicate. Okay. This card invites deep discernment and compassion. Some contracts can now be completed. Others must be rewritten in alignment with your current sovereignty. If you need help rewriting your soul contracts, if you go to my flame readings, tier 2, that's what we do. We look into your past lives. We figure out what soul contracts you've bound yourself to, and we rewrite them. I have a mentee who was struggling with feeling. Let me pause this because Sasha over here hooting and damn hollering, and I can't even concentrate. All right. So I had a client the other day who she self-blames a lot. Sometimes she feels like she needs to earn her keep, things like that. So I told her, hold on, let's look into it. I look into this, and she was a teenager, and she was taking her little brother up a elevator or something. I knew that she wasn't supposed to be there. Like, I'm seeing this. She was not supposed to be there. And her brother fell off the top of a building. And by the time she ran all the way to the bottom to get him, a man was holding him and he was limp. So her brother died. Her brother died because she was doing something that she wasn't supposed to do. And her parents really, really took care of her. She was a well taken care of kid. And so after he died, she felt responsible for that. She blamed herself. And what she started to do is around the house, she was still a teenager. So her parents still had to take care of her, even though her brother died on her watch. And she was doing stuff around the house, like trying to earn her keep. And she was blaming herself for what happened to her brother. She felt like she was the type of person who needed to keep her word from that moment on as well, is because she said she was going to do something. She didn't do it, and her little brother died. And so in this lifetime, she's still playing those same archetypes. She's kind of like the black sheep of the family. She always does something she always does stuff for other people, but they don't acknowledge it. She always blames herself when something goes wrong. She feels like she needs to be perfect because, again, in the last lifetime, when she was not perfect and she did not listen, her little brother died. So we had to rewrite that contract together. And that's a part of my flame lineage readings. So if you look at tier 2, we look into past lives, we look into stuff like that so that I can figure out where you need help. Also in tier 3 as well, that's when we really do soul contract work and previous lifetime work. But in that second tier, I will also look at your soul contract and see if there's any past life residue that's bleeding into this life. Because y'all know in my past life, I fell off a cliff with my whole family, and I'm terrified of water and heights and sharks, deep bottles of water. Y'all also know that I woke somebody up 3 lifetimes ago, and I actually found out that it was in Egypt. I was a violet flame temple priestess. And I woke somebody up too quickly. He was only 13, 14 years old. His ego got a hold of him, and he thought that he was immortal, and he jumped off the top of a fucking cliff. And it took him a little while to die, but he told me it wasn't my fault and all of this. But once he died, his mama, who was my sister, my temple priestess sister, was in so much grief that she quit the priesthood, and she just walked around singing to the sea for the rest of her life. And so the reason why I can't see in this lifetime is because I cut off seership, because people can trick you with what you see. So my name in that lifetime was Neff and Tao. Maari was my name. So sometimes there are soul contracts that you have to actually physically go in, figure out what they are to rewrite them. But little ways that you can do that along the way is whatever you're doing, do the opposite. Figure out the decision that you made. That's what hypnosis teaches you. What decision are you making? And most of the time, our decision is silence. Most of the time, our decision is not to communicate. You can solve a lot of your fucking problems by just communicating. That's it. You can solve a lot of your problems by just communicating. Okay. So that's the soul contract in reverse. That means that you are suffering in silence. Okay. There's a soul contract that needs to end, that's keeping you locked in feeling responsible for other people in spiritual servitude. Okay. The last card is the Three of Flame in reverse. Okay. So the Three of Flame in reverse, and he's a fine man with dreads, period. We love our Black kings walking that path. Okay. And this card is a card about impatience, performance, chasing validation, fear of being unseen, overextension, okay, or overexertion. In shadow, the Three of Flame becomes anxious. There may be momentum, but it's often tangled with urgency, external pressure, or performance anxiety. You may find yourself chasing recognition, needing proof that your flame is working, or comparing your path to other people, which means that you need external validation. The true flame begins to flicker as ego or exhaustion enters your field. This is the illusion of progress without grounded presence. You're not falling behind. Your flame does not answer to time. It answers to truth, meaning you need to be in resonance. Everything about you needs to be about what feels good. Okay. Not measured in the way that society measures us, because then that pushes you towards perfection, and your journey is not about that. That's what is causing the pressure. It needs to be about you doing something that you love, you living authentically, and you being in alignment. Okay. The advice here is your flame does not burn brighter through effort, meaning you cannot do more. It glows through alignment. You need to make sure that what you do is something that lights your soul on fire. Okay. So the ritual I want you to do, my love, is to sit with your hands over your heart. I do right hand on the bottom, left hand on top. Okay. And you need to say, I release the chase. I return to the rhythm of my flame. Place your attention on your breath, meaning pay attention to your breath, chest going up, chest going down. Imagine your flame pulsing in your chest, not racing, just a steady flame pulsing in your chest. Write a letter from your flame to your ego. Your flame is your truth. Okay. Let it speak of patience, of timing, and of trust. And close by affirming, my path is mine. My fire is enough. Okay. Meaning, like, you need to know that you're enough just as you are. You don't need to do anything extra. Okay. It's about self-worth and value. Okay. You need to pull your attention back to yourself. You need to prioritize yourself. You need to listen to your body. Okay. So pay attention to how things make you feel. If it makes you feel good, that's a yes. If it makes you feel bad, that's a no. And it is okay for you to change your mind. Okay, so I'm going to give you that again. Sit with both of your hands over your heart and speak, I release the chase. I return to the rhythm of my flame. Place your attention on your breath and imagine a flame pulsing in your chest. Not racing, just a steady flame. Write a letter from your flame to your ego. Let it speak of patience, of timing, and of trust. Close by affirming, my path is mine. My fire is enough. Okay, this will be on YouTube. All right, my love. That was for you. All right. Anybody else want a reading? Oh, I got several people coming through. Okay. So next is Sakia. And again, if y'all want a reading, I have one question readings for $11, or you can do a 1-card pull. And I also have 3-card pull, or how many ever I decide to pull, for $22. Payment can come through Cash App, which is bigtajjj, which is 3 J's, J, yes, or Zelle, TAJAMOORE16 @gmail. Okay, you are welcome, my love. That means this living situation has to end. Absolutely. Choose you. And don't feel bad about choosing you. The first couple of times that I chose myself, I was in mental anguish and turmoil. I got it, my love. I'll do you after I do Sakia. Okay. The first time I chose myself, it sucked. I had people living with me. I actually had a friend live with me for 6 months, didn't pay me a damn dime. All I asked her to do was save up her money so that she can get on her feet. And at 3 months I asked her and she said no, she hadn't saved a dime, but she was buying a nigga shoes, paying for hotel rooms, going to see him every other weekend. Ain't asked me, was I okay? We didn't have toilet paper in the house. She texted me at work and said, we don't have no toilet paper. Go get some. But I literally continued to live with her for 2 years after that, paying $900 in rent while she paid $600. And she still didn't have she still would ask to go to the grocery store, literally come in there and ask me to go to the grocery store. And I'll be like, oh, okay, the grocery store is right next to us. You know, I used to just go over there and give me a little sub because Publix, I live next to Publix. If you from down south, you know Publix is that girl. Publix is that girl you don't need for nothing. And it was a Wawa right there too. A Wawa is the best gas station that ever existed. You can get smoothies, you can get motherfucking paninis, you can get whatever your heart desires. Wawa's got it. You know, and so I used to just walk over there after my workout and just get what I need. And she was like, well, let's go to the store together. We go to the store. I'm thinking we're getting groceries because obviously, why would you come in there and ask me? You a grown woman, I'm a grown woman. The store's right there. We like, and we living next to a what do you call them little things? Strip mall. They even got alligator bites right down the street. They even got a taco spot right there. You know what you need me for? We go to the store, we get in the grocery. She's like, yeah, we want this, we want that. We should get this, we should get that. And she got about $50 worth of stuff at the top. And I was like, well, what's this? The bill came and she was like, oh, I only got $50 worth of stuff. But you eat every time I cook. Okay, to be young and dumb. Again, never. You got to choose you. Wawa is good. Wawa is that girl. Where can I get the deck? The deck is on my website, okay? www.bigtajjj.com. And that's 2 J's. Okay? Scroll down on that first page. And at the bottom, it says, need that now? That's where you can get the deck immediately. It comes straight from the manufacturer. But it's going to be about $56 to $60, depending on where you live. Because it's like a $16 little fee. Or you can do the pre-order. I think I need about 30 more people for the pre-order and I can get it at a lower rate. So if you do the pre-order, I'm going to try to wait at least 3 more weeks. But if I don't have it in 3 weeks, I might have to refund people because I don't want to just hold on to y'all money until the end of motherfucking time. So hopefully we get some people doing pre-orders, but if you can't afford the deck, just go to my website, click where it says tarot descriptions, whatever card is like calling out to your name, click that card and read the description. It's lessons on there. It's advice on there. It's rituals on there for you to do to get yourself back into alignment. Okay. I didn't have no elders, no nothing to help me on my journey. So I'm just trying to help us. Okay. So that you don't have to depend on people outside of yourself because there's so many people who are spiritually bypassing. There's so many people who have decorated their ego with spirituality, you know? So I would rather you get it from yourself. This is up to date with our times right now. It includes distortion, manipulation, control. It talks about attachments. It talks about your oversoul. It is very much so about the path back to remembrance. And this is a way for me to teach you the path of remembrance without doing a course. I wanted old technology in modern form, you know? Old technology in modern form. Okay. So let's get back to Sasha hooting and hollering. And Sakia, where you at, my girl? Yes. As somebody who has searched high and low for help on my spiritual journey, I ran into a lot of people who were spiritual bypassing, a lot of people who did not have good intentions. Okay. And so that's why I started doing spiritual mentorship, because I was just like, I want people to have access to a genuine person, because I hated that shit so fucking much. Hey, Joshua. I hated it. And I hate that it was like all love and light. That's not realistic. You are both light and shadow. You need balance, you know? You need to be able to be honest, because being too much in the positive side is also you not being honest, you know? Okay, sister's youngest girl. Hey, girly. Okay, I'm excited, girl. Let's see what we got. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we got the same card, the 2 of stone in reverse. We got some imbalance again, spreading yourself thin. I'm laughing at the decorated ego. Oh, distortion mask. Okay. Oh, my love, I'm glad that you got this reading. This is some good stuff, girl. Okay, what's her last card? I missed the Jessie Reyez concert last week, and she brought out black How dare you, Jesse? Okay, so we got 4 cards that came out for you, my love. Ooh, okay, we got some stuff. Okay, let's get into it. My eyes is burning. All right, so the first card that we get for you is the Two of Stone in reverse. Okay, so this is the card of imbalance. Okay, I'm gonna go over it again, but y'all should know this card by the end, and maybe I'll give y'all a free reading. Somebody a free reading at the end. You know? Okay, so this out of the shadow side is about overwhelm, burnout, imbalance, overcommitment, difficulty saying no. Okay, in the shadow side, the balance is lost. You may be doing too much for too many people, feeling fragmented or spread thin. The body is speaking, but you are not listening to your body. You're living out of your mind. Okay, you might also feel stuck between two things, unsure where to root. At the core of this shadow is the belief that your value comes from productivity. You do not have to do more. Okay, you do not have to do more. That's what society tells us. It pushes us towards perfection, and if we just do more, we get to earn more. You don't have to earn anything. Okay, you got to change the way you're thinking about things. This card may indicate imbalance in money, relationships, or attention. Perhaps you're giving freely and receiving little in return. Okay, or you're afraid to spend, invest, or trust in the flow. The earth holds abundance, but it requires stewardship. Shadow balance calls you to realign your priorities and restore the sacred cycle. Okay, your energy is not infinite, it is holy. Protect it accordingly. Okay, this has to be a collective theme because it didn't came out for every single person that I've read except for one person. Okay, 4 out of 5. All right. Um, Next is the distortion mask. This is one of my favorite cards. Okay, the distortion mask. Look how gorgeous she is. Gorgeous, gorgeous. You know, I never cease to amaze myself sometimes. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous card. Okay, I wanted these cards to look like us. We can't never have nothing. We got this though. Okay, false guidance. Okay, energetic mimicry, illusion, inversion, flame confusion, discernment, false identities, oversoul fragment, ego constructs. Just told my 20 years to get me a job, my 20-year-old to get a job and help around the house more, period. And I love that for you. Stand on business. Okay. Yeah, bad. It aligns with the convos I keep having. Yeah, that's collective. That's how you know it's a collective theme. Okay, so the distortion mask appears when you are ready to pierce through spiritual illusion. This is the flame bearer's right of clarity. The moment you begin to see what is not aligned, even when it looks radiant on the surface. The distortion mask reveals itself when you are ready to see beyond illusion, especially the illusions you've worn as protection. This card reflects unconscious patterns, personas, and mimicries you've carried to stay safe, accepted, or in control. You know, the things that you tell yourself that work in certain circumstances when you're trying to survive, but once you overcome those circumstances, you got to release those. And half the time, we never go back and release those ideologies, okay? The things that you had to do out of survival. Okay, so you may be encountering mimic codes, teachings, guides, or inner belief systems that you wear as costume of light, but carry agendas, fear, or distortion underneath. Sometimes this card represents external figures, false mentors, distorted movement, or flame teachings rooted in control. But often it's about your own inner mimic. Okay, the voice that imitates clarity but arises from fear, from ego, and from trauma. This card does not arrive to shame you, but to liberate you. The moment you recognize illusion is the moment you reclaim your sovereignty. Okay, the bearer is learning discernment, how to feel resonance rather than just believe appearances, meaning you calling a spade a spade. Okay, you're being initiated into spiritual sovereignty through the fire of discernment. At a soul level, the mask may have once been a survival strategy. Perhaps it helped you navigate early environments or distortive spiritual spaces, but now it no longer serves your oversoul truth. You're being asked to gently remove what is false, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, and to trust that your true essence will rise without force. This card is a card of radical honesty. Who did you become in order to belong? And who are you when your mask is gone? The lesson here is not all that shines is true. Trust the fire, not the mask, meaning trust the way you feel. Don't trust what you're being shown, because people can lie to you with what they show you and also what they tell you, but they can never lie to you with what you're actually feeling. Okay. See what's real beneath the projection. Truth frees the soul. Okay. You need to figure out what your truth is, absent of everybody else, not considering anybody else. What's true for you? What do you need? Are your needs being met in the situation? Okay. The next is the king of breath. Okay. This is mastering of the mind. The mastering of the mind. Okay. The king of breath. For some reason, y'all, I keep ending up on lesbian talk, and I don't know what's going on. But Queen, I think it's K-Wan's fault because why are you making music that good, girl? You got them confusing me. All right, the king of breath. Okay, this is the breath steward. This is about wisdom, mental mastery, sacred structure, clear authority, soul leadership, teaching, strategic clarity, and truth and service. Girl, I'm damn bad. I'll be over here like, hold up, wait a second. Too much, too fast, you know? And just the fact that somebody like posted something the other day and it was like, like this girl who like started dating somebody she like talked to in high school that was a girl. And she was like, you know how lesbian relationships are. You in love after 3 months. And I was like, am I a lesbian? I'm confused. I'm like, I be in love after 2 seconds of meeting you. It's the cancer energy. It's the cancer energy. Anyways, she did eat on that album. Like that last song is T. Okay. And they just be, what do they, anyways? A woman is beautiful, is all I'm going to say. Okay. But I've never ventured down that path. So I'll be confused. Okay. Yes, we're going to go with the cancer energy being the thing. It has to be because otherwise I don't understand how I keep being over there. I don't understand. Anyways, the king of breath is the steward of divine logic. He has moved through chaos, the doubt, the ache, and now speaks from distilled clarity. This card appears when you're being called to lead with truth, not just hold it. You may be stepping into teaching roles, a position of influence, or offering guidance rooted in experience. This king builds system of clarity, spoken framework, soul-aligned curriculum, sacred conversation. He teaches not to dominate, but to liberate minds. His truth is structured yet fluid. He doesn't speak to be right. He speaks to serve the remembrance of other people. Okay. You're being asked, what do you know now that must be shared? What wisdom can be channeled, not from control, but from care? Which means that when you're teaching other people, you cannot be the type of person who demands specific things out of a place of control. It needs to be out of service, and what I mean by that is asking people what their needs are and then meeting those needs, realizing that everybody's on their own specific journey and you don't know what their lesson or their soul mission is. So although it's hard watching people around you make decisions that are at their detriment, that you don't have any control. The only control that you have is over yourself, and so unfortunately you're going to have to watch the people around you make the choices that are not the best for them, but you can't control them. And if you over involve yourself in that, then you're just going to pull yourself out of alignment. Went home for the weekend to see my sisters. The mask was for them. Watching what I say, not to, oh, okay, I got you. But it's just allowing people to make the choices that are best suited for them without your interference. That is what true unconditional love is. Okay. Understanding you can't control anybody and everybody on their own separate journey. And although you can jump in and save them from this one situation, the next is until they decide to change, until they decide to do something different. They just gonna keep doing it, and it's just gonna keep reappearing louder and louder and louder each time. Okay, so that's the king. The highest truth is the one that uplifts others, not just yourself. Okay, not trying to control other people's life path and other people's situation, and just realizing that if somebody wants your advice, if somebody wants your help, they'll come and ask. And then you give them the wisdom. The last one is the three of waters. Okay. Look at them, black of all different shades. Period. Because I happen to be a light bright myself, so I have to include myself in the cards, in some way, shape, or form. So this is the remembrance circle. Okay. This is about soul, family, emotional reunion, sacred celebration, joy, and belonging. Okay. Remembrance through community, heart resonance, ceremonial joy. So the three of waters is a ceremonial return to togetherness. It marks the joy of reunion, when kindred souls come together, not for survival, but for celebration. You might find yourself entering a sacred circle, a creative collaboration, a spiritual gathering, or a joyful friendship that feels like home. In this card, we witness the emotional relief of being known, meaning like you finally around people who get it, people who resonate with you. Okay. You no longer have to translate your frequency. You no longer have to dim your frequency. You no longer have to be anybody else or put up any mask. There is laughter, tenderness, and shared memory. This is not ordinary community. It's a soul family drawn together by the river of remembrance. You are invited to honor joy as ceremony and to trust that you don't have to walk your path in isolation, meaning that you might have been walking your path in isolation because you feel like nobody gets it, nobody understands. What this card is saying, let other people witness you blooming. Just create the life that you actually enjoy, and the people who gonna fuck with it is gonna fuck with it, okay? Joy deepens when it is witnessed, okay? So that's the card I get. So what I'm getting from this is that there's some type of imbalance. There might have been you overgiven in the past, or spreading your energy too thin, and now you need to kind of focus on yourself. There's also this energy of the illusions are kind of falling. You starting to see life for what it really is and make decisions based off of that. There's a need for you to step into this king of breath energy where you have mastered your mind and that you're only providing help to people who actually want your help. You know, and then you got this three of waters where you're ready for your soul family to find you. You know, so here's a ritual that I can give you. This one is called the cup of circle ritual. Okay. You want to get 3 cups or chalices, whatever you want to call them, and each one pour water with intention. Okay. The first one for your past self, the second one for your present self, and the third one for those who walk beside you. Speak blessings into each, meaning speak over the water. Water is intelligent, highly fucking intelligent. Okay. Speak over your water. Outside of this, speak over your water. Okay. Because you're a water temple and you want to direct the water on what to do when it enters your body. Okay. That's what it means to live consciously. Okay. Then drink from the third cup and say, I receive the joy of being known. I welcome my soul family. If done with others, each may offer one word of remembrance aloud as a shared invocation. Okay, I'm going to give that to you one more time. This is the cup circle ritual. Gather 3 cups or chalices. In each, pour water with intention. The first cup is for your past self. The second is for your present self. And the third is for those who walk beside you. Speak blessings into each. Speak what you want. Speak intention into each. You know, for your past selves, thank your past self for who you've been, your current self for carrying the weight. You know, the people who walk beside you for supporting you and helping you, and the people coming in, you know. Then drink the third cup and say, I receive the joy of being known. I welcome my soul family. Okay. If it's done with other people, each may offer one word of remembrance aloud as a shared invocation. Okay. How do you feel about that, my love? Am I saying your name right, Sakia? Or Sakaya? I like it either way. I might be saying it wrong though. Let me. Mm-hmm. It's the second Sakaya. Okay, gotcha. Alrighty. How does that feel? How was that reading, my love? Did that make sense? Did that resonate? Let me drink some water while I'm speaking of water. It was on point, period. Good. All right. So we got Hydra next. Y'all, I'm doing readings. One question. If you want me to just do mediumship, you have a question you won't answer, you can put it in the chat, $11. One card pull is $11. A 3-card reading is $22. My Cash App is bigtajjj. So 3 J's. My Zelle is TAJAMOORE16 @gmail. All right, Hydra, did you want a 1-card pull or you want a question? Oh, this is my song. I feel like Chantel May don't get enough credit. She needs more credit than she's getting. What's going on with my energy? I'm in the hospital. I've been feeling lightheaded and dizzy. Oh, okay. So the first thing that I heard is exhaustion. And I keep hearing minerals. Minerals. Is your blood pressure high? Blood pressure. What's what like lightheaded and dizziness? Yeah, I keep hearing exhaustion. I hear minerals, which makes me feel like that there's a mineral deficiency or something. And then I heard something about your blood pressure being high. They running tests. My higher self told me drink minerals. Yeah, it feels like there's a mineral deficiency. And I don't know why. I also feel like that there might be an infection somewhere. And I think, I don't know why I'm hearing your tooth. There might be an infection in your tooth. But I don't even think that's causing a problem, though, whatever that is. But I will have them check. Yeah, and hold on, y'all. I'm trying to wait for her to respond. My higher self told me to drink minerals. Yeah, it feels like there's a mineral deficiency, and I feel like something is affecting the kidney area. Yeah, I have a cavity still. I didn't get it filled. Yeah, it feels like there's an infection or something there. So I would have them check that because sometimes your mouth can cause infections to affect other places in your body. And sometimes we don't even know that we have an infection there. So I would check whatever that is, make sure that they check that. Okay. Also it feels like there's a mineral deficiency. Something's affecting the kidney. Are you having any pain in lower back? Um, A little, like if I put pressure there, yes. I would have them check. But it feels like I think you're exhausted. I think you need more minerals. I'm seeing a tooth infection, but this feels like this doesn't feel like this is causing a huge problem. Um, and I keep wanting to be pointed to the kidneys. I want you to take care of yourself, my love. Oh, it froze. Okay, I'm sorry. What I said was I keep the first thing that I got was exhaustion and minerals. It feels like there's a mineral deficiency somewhere. And then that infection within a tooth, I don't feel like that's a huge thing, but I think that that's something that is there that you might need to get looked at or flushed. And then I'm being pointed back to the kidneys. And I don't know if the kidney thing is a stone or if it's I don't think the kidney thing is causing the issue. But there's something with the kidneys going on though. So if you while you're there, you might as well just get them checked out. I don't know if that means kidney stone or something, but it feels like something is in the kidney. I sent some things on Zelle. Okay, I got you, boo. I hope you feel better, my love. I keep hearing lion's mane. Let me see what lion's mane does. Lion's mane. Lion's mane benefits. Okay, it keeps freezing. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. What part did you miss? Brain, heart, and gut. Its primary benefit are attributed to bioactive compounds, growth, repair, and maintenance of nerve cells, improving memory, focus, and supports mental clarity, supports immune system through immune modulating properties and promoting a healthy gut and microbiome. I heard lion's mane after you told me about the kidneys. Yeah, so what I was saying is I don't think the kidneys is a problem, but I think there might be a kidney stone or something there that they need to look at. And then the other thing that I heard was lion's mane. So I don't even know if that's something that you take, but I think that that might be something that you need to incorporate is lion's mane. Oh my God. And I heard spirilla benefits. What's spirilla? Ain't it SP improve heart health, lower cholesterol, triglyceride levels, reduce blood pressure, and improving markers of metabolic health, fasting blood sugar. Yeah, spirilla, lion's mane got it, and I heard spirilla as well, which is SPSPIRULINA. I said that all motherfucking wrong. Spirulina, whatever. I heard something of that nature. Spirulina. I think you need to look at that too. Spirulina. Um, I'm sorry, my love. Keep me up to date. Let me know what they say. Write me in our chat. You welcome, my love. All right. Catrice. All right, we got you, my love. All right. Let's do a 3-card pull for you, my love. What was your name on here? Oh, holistic. Okay. Let's do a 3-card pull. Let's see what we got for you. What do we got for my girl? Holistic home girl. What do we got? Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. This card just happened to come out with it. I'm going to do one more just because it feels right. That's me. Oh, okay. So I guess 2 more done came out. Okay, my love. Every card that I've gotten, and I have 6 of them, has come out in reverse. So that means that there's some energy that's out of alignment. And so let's work through it. Okay. The first card that I get is the Knight of Flame. The Knight of Flame. He's a handsome guy. Look at him. Oh, you can't see him. You got to look at him like that. Okay. The Knight of Flame. Am I still freezing? Somebody, anybody? Am I still freezing? TikTok, YouTube, am I freezing for y'all? No. Okay, cool. So we get the Knight of Flame in reverse. Okay. In the shadow side, it's impulsivity, it's recklessness, it's spiritual ego, it's bypassing stillness, running from depth, burnout in motion. Okay. So in the shadow side, the Knight becomes consumed by forward movement, meaning you got to slow down. You may be leaping ahead without integration, chasing purpose without pausing to ask why, or confusing movement with evolution, meaning that, again, we are in a performance culture, which tells us that we got to do more. We got to go. And sometimes we need to sit in stillness. Okay. And sometimes nothing is even sacred. Okay. There's a risk of using spiritual urgency to bypass emotional depth, meaning you got to slow down to feel it in order for you to heal it, or trying to save others before anchoring yourself. Okay. The path is supposed to be like Harriet Tubman. You go first. You figure out the path. You come back after you have figured out the path. Okay. The flame becomes a weapon or a performance instead of a path. Okay. This card asks, are you running with your flame or from it? The advice is to let your fire guide your path, not distract you from your presence, meaning you need to feel it. You need to sit in it. You need to heal it to feel it. You need to slow down. Okay, which means it's not going to happen as fast as reality. The society we live in sells us instant gratification, so that we think that we just got to do more and we'll get there quicker. It's not about the hustle and bustle. It's about resonance, which means you got to slow down and you got to feel into it. Okay. The next card that I get is the Eight of Waters. Okay. This is also in reverse. Okay. So the Eight of Waters in reverse. Now, the Eight of Waters is about avoidance. It's about emotional shutdown. It's about fear of grief. It's about guilt. It's about delayed endings, soul numbing, or pretending all is well when it is not. Okay. So running from feeling it. That's what that's saying. This is saying running from feeling it. Okay, so that's confirmation. In the shadow side, the departure becomes a ghost walk. You may physically leave, but carrying the emotional burden with you. Okay, meaning that there's something you need to look back at that you have not healed from, that you might think that you have. You need to look at the baggage that you've taken with you. Or you may refuse to leave it all, clinging to a version of connection, identity, or comfort that no longer fits you. You may avoid grieving altogether, pretending things are fine while quietly dying inside. This card shows you when you're staying out of habit, fear, or misplaced guilt. But to postpone departure is to prolong disconnection from yourself and from your path. Leaving is not betrayal, it's an act of devotion to your truth. Leaving where, girl? You need to leave something behind. Next, I get the devoted craft, the Eight of Stones. So we got two eights here in reverse. Now, eight energy, if you're unaware, is Capricorn energy. It's the energy of self-imposed limitations. It's the energy that thinks that it needs to do more to earn abundance. But on the other side of that is finding work-life balance. You need work-life balance. You don't need to do more. You need to incorporate rest in all of the work that you're doing and to sit with yourself so you can figure out what self-imposed limitations that you have, meaning belief systems that are keeping you from abundance. I'm a Capricorn. Yeah, girl, I'm a Capricorn stellium with a North Node in Capricorn. I'm actually a Capricorn Taurus as well, which sucks. A lot of Saturn energy, but you got to get out of your own way when you got Capricorn energy, meaning like you can't have that I can't energy. Okay. Um, so this is also in reverse, which means burnout, over efforting, perfectionism, obsession, misalignment with your purpose, exhaustion, or proving energy, meaning you're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to prove your worth, you're trying to prove your rank. Okay. In the shadow, the devoted craft becomes drudgery. You may be working too hard from a place of pressure, fear, or a need for validation. What was once sacred may now feel like obligation. The flame dims when you're creating to prove, not to embody. This card can also indicate misdirected energy, pouring your effort into things that no longer align with your truth. You might be stuck in perfectionism, afraid to share until it's flawless, meaning like move forward. Like a lot of times we won't take a step at all until we get it perfect. And then if we never get it perfect, we end up getting stuck, right? Or perhaps you've been ignoring your body's need for rest in service of constant productivity. So you need to be where your body is and not where your mind is. Your mind is what tells you need to go, 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 go. But your body is what tells you need to rest. It's like when you wake up in the morning, if you're exhausted, it's okay for you to get back into bed. But your mind says, well, we got to be productive. We said we were going to do X, Y, and Z today. Whereas your body is screaming for help, right? So the Eight of Stones in shadow asks, is your devotion still alive or has it become performance? The advice, you do not need to be perfect. You need to protect it. You do not need to perfect the flame. You need to protect it. Okay. So that's what the devoted flame is. Next, we have the Five of Waters. All right. The Five of Waters is about emotional stagnation, unprocessed grief, victimhood. All of this is about grief, by the way. Clinging to sorrow, a fear of moving on, identity through pain. I don't know why I feel like that's a fear of moving on. But in the grief side, the grief gate becomes a chamber where you live instead of pass through. You may replay pain, dwell in emotional stagnation, or unconsciously cling to grief because it feels familiar, even when it no longer serves you. There may also be ancestral grief here, so stories of loss and longing passed down through bloodline. If not honored, it can start to define you. Okay, this card invites you to ask, am I grieving what happened or who I believe I had to be because of it. Okay, the advice is pain is a part of your journey, but you are not meant to pitch a tent there. I think this is about my ex, but I've been closing that out, or so I thought. You probably need to go revisit it a little bit, my love. And it's not a bad thing. We all been there. My ex just keep coming back like a motherfucking gnat at a barbecue, like into my awareness. And then I think that I've healed something, and then I see that there's something else that's left unprocessed or that I have not acknowledged, because the healing journey is a spiral. And so you always come back to the things that you thought you've released with a new set of eyes. And so just take it as a learning opportunity and, a signal of progress. Okay. Next, we have the Ace of Fire, or the Ace of Flame, in reverse. Okay. So you have a nice balance of energies here. The only energy you don't have here is mental energy. So yeah, so next is the sphere of starting, overwhelm, stagnation, resistance, soul hesitation. Okay. So we have grief and we have stagnation that keep coming up. So in shadow, the spark can feel like too much too soon, or not enough uh to matter. You may sense a powerful potential within, but feel paralyzed by uncertainty, pressure to get it right, or a fear of failing before you've begun. This card in shadow reveals the flame is there, but your relationship to it is clouded by doubt or perfectionism. You may distract yourself, over prepare, or wait for conditions to be ideal. This is not failure, it is a sacred pause. The flame never leaves, it simply waits for willingness to trust your becoming, meaning you need to trust in your instincts. You need to trust yourself to be able to guide yourself. Don't wait until things are perfect, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. Start and figure it out as you go. Okay. You don't need to see the whole fire. You just need to trust the spark is enough to begin. Okay. That's what that is. And then this is the last one, the Four of Stone, the guarded flame. Okay. So we come back up to this guarded energy again. Okay. So the Four of Stone in reverse is about hoarding, a fear of loss, a lack mindset, energetic stinginess, mistrust, overprotection, or isolation. In shadow, the Four Stones becomes a locked vault. You may be clinging too tightly to time, energy, money, or attention, afraid there won't be enough if you open your hand. This card reflects a mistrust of abundance, often rooted in past scarcity or betrayal. Meaning you're probably moving out of survival mode, my love, based on everything that I'm seeing here. You're probably moving based off of fear. You might also be holding your gifts too closely, afraid to share them in case they're misunderstood, stolen, or undervalued. While it's wise to move with discernment, the guarded flame can become a prison when built from fear. This card in shadow invites a deep breath, a softening, a remembering that true security doesn't come from withholding, it comes from alignment, meaning that you need to make sure that you're not clinging, you're not clinging to it. The advice here is you are not safe because you hide, you are safe because you trust. So I don't know if that means that you've been in isolation. I don't know if that means you've been kind of to yourself. But there's a difference between guarding something to protect it and guarding something out of fear. Okay. So I think you need to go back and feel your feels, my love. I think you need to slow down a little bit. I think you need to look at your self-imposed limitations to make sure that you are not living out of your mind, meaning trying to make sure everything is perfect, trying to make sure things are practical and realistic. And I think you need to trust yourself, like literally trust yourself. You don't need to do more. You need to do more things that are aligned with you. Okay. So yeah, that's for you, my love. All right. Anybody else want to read in? I'm doing 1 card pulls for $11 or 1 question for $11. 3 card pulls, or how many ever come out, for $22. My Cash App is bigtajjj, bigtajjj, 3 J's, or it's Zelle, TAJAMORE 16 at Gmail. This is somebody else I got off of TikTok. TikTok just be feeding my music itch. You are so very welcome, my love. You are so very welcome. Maybe I'll do a free reading. Who wants a free reading? My question is, see who's been here. What is the 2 of Stone in reverse? What does that card mean? It's only come up 1,000 times in this reading today. Can anybody tell me what the two of stone in reverse means? If you can, I'll do a free reading for you. You are in sync with your body close. Anybody else? You're missing one part of it, spiritual key. I'm saying, what is the two of stone in reverse? What does that tell you? This card. It's come up in about 5 readings. But in reverse, what does it mean? Anybody? Okay, if not that, first person to drop a 111 in the chat. There we go. Spiritual key. We'll do you. Basically, overexerting yourself. Period. Bernard, I'll do a reading for you as well. Because we just did one for you, holistic homegirl. But I'll do a reading for you too, Bernard. Because you said imbalance. Because I mean, the card literally says balance on it. Okay, so good. So spiritual key, we'll do a reading for you. This is going to be a 3-card pull for spiritual key. And then we'll do a reading for Bernard as well. If anybody else wants a reading in the interim, again, 1-card pull, $11, along with 1 question readings as well, which is just mediumship. 3-card pull, $22. It can be sent to Cash App, bigtajjj with 3 J's, or Zelle, tajamore16@gmail. Okay, Mariah the scientist. All right, what do we have for spiritual key? What's crazy, spiritual key, is every time that I'm shuffling this, cards keep jumping out and then going back down, which is kind of cray. Okay, we got 2 cards. All right. You want to be skipped? You don't want to read in, Bernard? Or are you about to leave? All right, so the first card that we get for you, my love. Thank you, Laura. All right. So the first card is the Awakened Flame. Okay, but it's in reverse. The Awakened Flame. Okay. Look how gorgeous he is. Little handsome guy. Okay. The Awakened Flame. Okay, but we have this in reverse. And so the shadow side is about naivety. It's about spiritual bypassing, ungrounded light, fantasy without foundation, doubt, fear of foolishness, fragmentation, lost identity, or self-abandonment. Okay, so in the shadow side, the awakened flame can signal a premature leap, moving too quickly into spiritual identity without integration. Okay, meaning that you're trying to rush through the process. You may be chasing the high of remembering without tending to the roots. The shadow here is not fire, it's forgetting to bring it into the body, which means you need to feel. You might be intellectualizing a lot of things, but you also need to be feeling things. Okay. It may also reflect the tendency to bypass the lessons of the moment, craving escape rather than embodiment. If you find yourself overwhelmed by options, ideas, or destiny talk without grounded action, this card can invite you to pause and center into presence. You may feel fragmented or disconnected from your body. This card asks you to pause, recenter, and honor the truth that is emerging without forcing clarity. And the way that you integrate within your body is paying attention to how your emotions feel, paying attention to how things make you feel, and moving according to that. You are not behind on anything, you are arriving. Sometimes the soul awakens before the human self is ready to hold it. And that is okay. This card reminds you that awakening is not a race. You can take your time, let the flame integrate, let the body trust it. It may also indicate that you may be resisting your inner calling. This can manifest as a fear of being judged, a fear of failure, or a feeling that you are not ready. You may be seeking certainty or external validation, delaying your sacred path because you believe you need permission. So the advice with this card is you don't have to leap to be lit. Ground first, then move. And don't abandon the path out of fear of looking foolish or caring what other people think about you. Okay, so that's the awakened flame in reverse. Next, we have the Knight of Waters upright. Y'all know that she is one of my favorite cards because I love the dolphins. Okay, this is the Knight of Waters. She's a card about emotional expression, romance, heart pursuit, soul connection, intuition, and ground first, then move. Intuition and motion inspired action. So the Knight of Waters is the lover, the dreamer, and the seeker of soul connection. This knight does not charge with logic. They move with emotion and intuition and desire. You may be entering a phase of deep emotional openness, romantic pursuits, or creative inspiration guided by your heart. This card signals movement towards something that stirs your soul, whether it's a person, a dream, or a cause. You feel pulled to it. And so you follow, not because it's rational, but because it feels like truth, meaning you need to move based off of how things make you feel. Okay. The knight asks you to trust the tide, to ride the current of emotion, express love freely, and say what you feel. There is great beauty in your tenderness. Just remember to carry discernment as you move, meaning empathy is best used with discernment. Okay. The lesson here is let your heart lead, but bring your whole self with you. Okay. So I just need to connect these two cards because what I feel like is that there is a need for you to feel into things. Okay. Because even when it comes to your journey, like there's a need for you to start feeling again. So I don't know if that means that there has been some shutting off of your emotional world or emotional world realm, but there's a need for you to feel again. Because then I get the Queen of Waters, who is also in reverse. Okay. The Queen of Waters is about emotional enmeshment, self-abandonment, overcaring, martyrdom, absorbing other people's pain, unclear boundaries, or compassion fatigue. So in shadow, the water mirror becomes a sponge instead of a vessel. You may find yourself absorbing others' emotions, mistaking their needs for your own, or losing your center in your desire to care for other people. The wound of worthiness can disguise itself as overgiving. The queen in shadow often feels exhausted, not because she is weak, but because she's leaking energy. Her mirror has become fogged, her own reflection forgotten. You may also withhold your emotional truth to avoid conflict or discomfort. This card asks, can you love yourself enough to say no? The advice here is compassion without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. Okay, so there's a need for you to feel your feelings, but there's also a need because your feelings are going to help you to make a decision. When something feels good, that's a yes, move towards it. But when something feels bad, you need to set a boundary because boundaries has come up twice. You need to set a boundary and move away from it, which means you got to be a little bit more vocal. You got to learn how to prioritize yourself and meet your own needs, which means that you got to learn how to show up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. Okay, the ritual that I want you to do is called the ritual of remembrance. This is the water mirror shield. Place a small mirror flat on an altar and place a bowl of water on top of it. Around the mirror, arrange stones or petals in a circle and say, I witness, but I do not carry. I feel, but I remain whole. Gaze into the water and imagine your emotional body sealing in light. Keep this mirror shield nearby whenever you enter emotionally charged places. Okay, so you want to place a small mirror flat on an altar or a table or whatever, and place a bowl of water on top of it. Around the mirror, arrange stones or petals in the circle. Say, I witness, but I do not carry. I feel, but I remain whole. Gaze into the water and imagine your emotional body sealing in light. I see this as like a spiral flame, two flames coming up all the way from the bottom up to the top. And then keep the mirror shield nearby whenever you enter emotionally charged places. Okay, that's spiritual key. All right. We've been on here for a while. I've been going for a minute. Hold on. When did I start? Yeah, it's been about 2 hours. Hey, love. I hope you're doing great too. Bernard, did you want to read it or no? Not your vibe? You are welcome, spiritual key. I might take a couple more people before I head out. Right now I'm doing one card pulls or one question readings for $11. 3-card pull for 22. If anybody's interested, drop it in the chat for me. Otherwise, I might dip out because it's been about 2 hours and I'm tired. I'll be on here on I'm sorry, I was making my dinner and I'll take a card reading. Okay, cool, Bernard. Let's do you, Bernard. All right, let's do a reading for Bernard. This is my jam. If y'all don't listen to the artist, they just dropped like I don't know if it's an EP or a full album, but it's called The Artist, and the S in artist is a money sign. Yeah, you should tap in. The whole EP is very good. This is the song Ghost. This is good. Okay, Bernard, let's get you together. What do we got for Bernard? Okay, we got the guarded flame in reverse. I'm at the guarded stone. Ooh, oversoul embodiment in reverse. Okay. I like this, Bernard. The 7 of stone in reverse. Okay, hold on. I feel like I need to pull one more card for you. Hold on. What's going on? The King of Waters in reverse. Okay, my love. So your energy is out of alignment. Okay, we do have the 4 of stones first. The 4 of stone first. So we'll start there. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all already know how I be knocking shit out. All right. So we got a card. We got some cards for Bernard. Okay, Bernard. We got the 4 of stone. Okay, the 4 of stone. Now the 4 of stone, child. I play too fucking much. All right. So the 4 of stone is the guarded flame, but we have it in reverse, which is the shadow side. So you may be hoarding. There might be a fear of loss, a lack mindset, an energetic stinginess, a mistrust, overprotection, or isolation. Okay. In the shadow side, the 4 of stone becomes a locked vault. You may be clinging too tightly to time, energy, money, or attention. I don't know why I'm hearing money. Afraid there won't be enough if you open your hand. This card reflects a mistrust of abundance, often rooted in past scarcity or betrayal, meaning you've probably been in survival mode for quite a bit of time. You might also be holding your gifts too closely, afraid to share them in case they're misunderstood, stolen, or undervalued. While it's wise to move with discernment, the guarded flame can become yes, I'm saving for a car. Okay, that makes sense. While it's wise to move with discernment, the guarded flame can become a prison when built from fear. Meaning, like, while you're trying to manifest this, you need to get excited about the experience. Maybe go to different car lots and test drive the cars, figure out what type of car you want, that type of thing, instead of worrying about not having enough. Okay. This card is in shadow invites a deep breath, a softening, a remembering that true security doesn't come from withholding. It comes from alignment. Okay. So the advice is you're not safe because you hide. You're safe because you trust, meaning you need to trust in the process. Okay. Trust that things are going to work out for the better. I'm in isolation mode too. Mistrust in the past. Okay. That makes sense. So that your energy is guarded, my love. Okay. The next thing that I get is oversoul, the oversoul flame embodiment. And this is what it looks like upright. Beautiful, beautiful card. I have talents in art and I'm afraid to share. Okay, so this card is about a couple different things, Bernard. Having talent and not being afraid to share your gifts because you feel like they'll be misunderstood, stolen, or undervalued. Okay, so this card is telling you put yourself out there. Okay. Next we get the oversoul flame body. Okay, so let's see what that is in reverse. Okay, the shadow side of this card is bypassing, disembodiment, escape into spirit, oversoul avoidance, spiritual bypassing, floating above, resistance to embodiment, fear of disruption. In the shadow side, this card reflects a fear of truly inhabiting your vessel. You may cling to spiritual practices, visions, or downloads as a way of avoiding life on earth, meaning you might fantasize. Stolen for sure. Okay. You may seek the oversoul out there rather than remembering it is here in your skin and your breath and your voice. There can be resistance to grounding your mission, to charging for your gifts as well. You might and I struggle with this myself, charging for your gifts. Okay, to commit to form, to being seen as the real you, meaning like you don't want to be perceived. Sometimes this fear is ancestral, echoes of lifetimes when you were punished for being embodied in your truth, or it may be recent, tied to collapse or trauma. The shadow side of this card appears when you're avoiding the descent. You may be clinging to lightness, insights, or non attachment while your body, home, or relationship are asking you for attention, meaning that you might want to keep things light. You might not want those deeper relationships with people. You might keep things surface level a little bit to protect yourself. There may also be fear. What will anchoring this truth cost me? You might be witnessing the falling away of roles, partnerships, or careers and mistaking it as a failure. But it's the soul making space. This card calls you back to your roots, not as regression, but as restoration. You are not here to live above the earth. You are here to walk as your oversoul on this earth. Your oversoul does not want you to float, it wants you rooted. So the advice is you cannot build your temple in the sky. Bring your light all the way down, meaning let yourself shine where you are. Yep. Don't resist embodiment because it feels too heavy. You got to trust yourself. You got to put yourself out there. All you said is true. Okay. And then next we have the seven of stone in reverse. Okay, we got the seven of stone in reverse. Let's continue on and get the full message here. And this is about creating something too, but it's in reverse again. Impatience, self doubt, abandoning the process, rushing the harvest, mistrust, pulling out roots too soon. So, in the shadow, the waiting flame becomes unbearable. You may feel tempted to abandon your path out of frustration or fear that nothing is happening. Perhaps you've pulled your roots up too early in the past, searching for faster results or clearer signs. Remember, we live in a society that pushes us towards performance, and so we think specifically for men are taught that they need to do and they need to produce quickly, but through that they should reach success quickly. Okay, you turn 18, you should be a millionaire. That's what society kind of teaches men. So it's almost like you need to not calm, but pull, like, get yourself back into alignment, slow down a little bit, know that your path don't look like anybody else's path, and it's okay if it takes you a little second to get there. I think because there's so much pressure and urgency placed on y'all to reach success so quickly, if it doesn't happen or if things don't happen quickly, you think nothing is happening at all, when it's just taking a moment for you to actually align with what you're trying to bring in. So I think that there needs to be a little bit of you having a little bit more patience on your journey. Okay, this is true. Your doubt may be louder than your devotion right now. This card warns against interrupting divine cycles, and patience can lead to sabotage. When your ego demands proof, it often digs up what the soul is still tending. You may feel discouraged, unseen, or restless, but this is not the time to quit. This is the time to deepen. It's the time to root in. The question becomes, can you love something enough to take for so that it can take time to form? The advice: do not harvest the gift before it becomes itself. It's the Gemini in me, but something keeps urging me to go forward with creating every day. You should. Geminis are very indecisive and a little bit impatient, so I get that. I would say whatever's in your Mars is important. I don't know what your Mars sign is, but it could be fire, it could be Aries. Um, and then we have the King of Waters in reverse as well. Okay. Oh, it's Leo. That's fire. Yeah, that makes sense. If it's a fire, you're going to be impulsive. Okay. The last is the King of Waters. Okay. The King of Waters is about emotional maturity. It's about mastering your emotions. It's about managing your emotions, but this is in reverse. So this is about rigidity over control, spiritual elitism, logic over intuition, meaning you're too mental, you too much in your mind, you need to drop it to your body. Truth as hierarchy, fixed mindsets, and intellectual spirit superiority. So in the shadow, the breath steward becomes overbearing. The desire to guide turns into the need for control, meaning like you're trying to control the process, you're trying to control everything when you really should be entering into flow. You should be just creating from this place of joy and love. Don't look at the numbers, don't crunch numbers, don't look at the reaction. Just put your shit out there and be happy to, like, I love this. I don't need anybody else to love it. Like that type of energy. You may find yourself attached to being right, mistaking logic for wisdom, or dismissing emotional or intuitive insight. The king forgets that truth is shared frequency, not personal possession. There is also a danger of spiritual elitism, believing your way is the highest because it is the clearest, but clarity without humility becomes confinement. The mind may dominate the room, but forgets how to listen. Meaning you need to listen to your intuition, listen to the guidance, trust yourself. The advice, you don't need a throne to lead. You're just presence that honors your voice, meaning you need to live in your truth. Don't be the type of creator that goes to your audience to ask them what they want. You need to be creating what you want, and the people who fuck with you will come and fuck with you. Don't take advice of people outside of yourself, but also listen to your intuition. Create out of a place of joy. Don't crunch the numbers. Don't look at the numbers, and just align yourself with the vision. Okay, that's for you, Bernard. So if y'all want to read it, I'm doing 1 card pulls $11, 3 card pulls $22, or for the $11 you can do a 1 question where I just tap into your energy and see what's coming up. I seen somebody in the chat ask about readings. Does anybody else want to read in before I hop up off of here? I'll give you about 5 minutes to respond. Soft girl ever. Anybody else want to read in before I hop off here? Thank you so much. This brought a lot of clarity to me. Oh, you are so very welcome, Bernard. My Cash App is bigtajjj. My Zelle is tajamoore16@gmail. I'm doing $11 1 card pulls or 1 question, $22 3 card pulls. That's crazy. He's Leo. I'm Aries. Yeah. Hey, Chloe. I'm a Mars and Aries too, so I understand better than anybody. I be hitting the ground motherfucking running. I've had 4 different businesses. I've had a million different jobs. It's not even funny how many jobs I done had. It's not funny. More jobs than Jamaicans. Okay? If I don't like it, I'm getting another one. I done been a matchmaker, y'all. That was interesting. It was a company called It's Just Lunch. So instead of like going to dinner with somebody, you go to lunch with somebody. Like while you're at work, you leave, you go, like y'all meet up for drinks, y'all meet up for whatever. Yeah. But they had a black snake outside of the building. And after I seen it 2 days in a row, I said, I'm not coming back here ever again. I'm never, like, this is ghetto. This is not for me. But I was the only person who sold a package to this doorman in New York. He was older. He was like 80. He was ready to get out there. He was telling me about the suit he was going to put on and everything. It was a whole thing. And it was like a database. It was like a database. And like, depending on, based on like what they say, the database kind of had like an algorithm. So like they select specific answers and it pulls up everybody who has those answers, but you got to put in like the age and stuff like that. It was interesting. It was an interesting job. I was there for like a month. It was cool. I worked for a catering company, so I've done a bunch of different weddings, like a Star Wars wedding where they had the little robot thing going around. It was actually really cool. Everybody was dressed up in Star Wars. Like it was like a Halloween costume party situation, but it wasn't. It was Star Wars. But it was somebody's wedding. I've done like farm weddings. We also did like big events at the casino. So one time we did this event at Fridge Lick, which is a huge casino in Indianapolis. And you know how books have food in it? So it was like 10 different books. One of them was Titanic. One of them was Casanova, or I think it's Casablanca. And like, so we did a beef Wellington. We did like foods out of the books. So that was like the theme. And it was like white tablecloth. You know, there was like a red carpet for them to walk down and take pictures. And we just did like a bunch of different foods from different books. So that was really cool. It was like 300 plus people event. I've done weddings where ain't nobody come and they order so much fucking food. But surprisingly, the wives just be with it. They be like, okay, whatever, I'm ready to go to my honeymoon. They done pay all these thousands of dollars and they just send it back with the catering company and they still have to pay whatever they paid and nobody fucking showed up. That's sad. But yeah, I've done that. I've been, it's sad. I'm like, damn, the people who you thought was your friends ain't really your motherfucking friends because ain't no way. I've also worked in insurance. I worked for Geico for many years in the sales department. I worked in a couple different franchises as well. I worked in Eli Lilly and Company. So Cialis, which is like Viagra. I was the pill peddler for Cialis, and I made a lot of money because them old people used to just run up to me. They would see it in my bag. They would run up to me and try to snatch it out of my bag like I'm tussling with somebody. Granddaddy, like, give me my motherfucking bag. Because they didn't play about that Cialis, because Cialis is different than Viagra. Viagra is 4 hours. Cialis is 72 hours. That means you can get it up and down as you please. Them old people did not motherfucking play. And so I would have to argue with them like, no, you need to talk to your doctor. Like, I cannot give you this. And they would be going up in my bag and everything. And I'm like, damn, why am I boxing out your 80-year-old ass now? If I push you and you fall, I'm going to be in jail. But I did that. I worked in the legal field. So I've handled like personal injury, stuff like that. And then I also worked in the legal field in like debt and stuff like that. Getting rid of student loans, time shares and shit like that. Invented like a system thingy with that. I done had a million jobs. It's not even honey. And you just keep going and choosing a different option until it aligns, you know? So if nobody else wants a reading, I'm going to go ahead and go because I've been on here for about 2 hours. It's been a minute. It's been real, Tosh. Thank you for bringing us together. I got a lot out of the session today. You are welcome, my love. So I will let y'all go ahead and let y'all go. Know that the podcast, I know we did the Atlantis series, but I'm doing a podcast version. So the podcast is dropping every Wednesday for the next 15 weeks. So I can just get it all there. So y'all have it on the podcast platforms as well. And then tomorrow I'll be on at 1:00 doing my normal thing. We're going to do some rituals for the full moon that's coming up on Saturday in the Lionsgate. That's coming up on Friday. So that's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 Central, 4 Eastern. So if y'all want to do some rituals and collective work tomorrow, I'll be on then. Thursday, I'll probably be on about 7:00. So it's going to be late on Thursday to do either some readings. I want to do human design, like call some people up and do like a human design hotline type of situation. So I might be doing that as well. It is. Thank you. So yeah, I want y'all to have an amazing reading. This will be on YouTube. So y'all be able to get this on YouTube right after we get off. If y'all didn't catch the rituals that I gave y'all today, if anything resonated with y'all, just do the rituals that resonate with y'all. Okay. I love y'all and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Alrighty.